How you work, how you create or submit gigs. Let's try to submit one just so that we would see how it looks like. Business gigs, create new gig. I have this create pro gig because I'm pro, but if you're not, you can have this, and if you're pro, you can have this. They're the same, it's just a different naming because I can create both. So then you can create a gig. They force you always to start with I will, which is something I don't like, but that's how it is. It's their rules. So you have to write here something, and this one-liner is the second seller point. So again, the first seller point is the image. The second seller point is this one-liner. The third selling point is the price. If I am a person looking to buy something on Fiverr, first thing that's going to grasp my attention is your mock-up and your image, because I'm looking to buy something and I want to see how it looks like. I'm not sure. I want a logo, but I'm not sure how the ending logo is going to look like. Or I want a website and I don't know how it's like. So when I see that you created something fantastic and it looks amazing, then you already got my attention, and this is step one, and you passed through step one, which is perfect. Step two is the sentence. The sentence has to be a freaking good seller point, because this is your introduction with this client. Now, this client could look at your website and see a fantastic website and then go and say, okay, this is good, but I'm looking for someone who does SEO. And then he would see other people, your competitors, saying, I will do personalized SEO. But you said, I will do SEO for your website, which is quite bland or quite normal, you know? So you need to stand out here. Don't make it too sophisticated, but make it sound like you know what you're doing. So that's that. And then selecting a category, subcategory also is quite simple when you start working on it. And the search tags are important, similar to search engine optimization. People are gonna search, like if you're doing a logo, then write the word logo. And if you're focused on blockchain, for example, that's also good to be focused on something, because if you're a buyer and you want a logo for your blockchain company, you would write blockchain logo. You wouldn't just write logo and explore. So if there is here logo and technology or logo and blockchain, then you could be very well good amongst the search. Fiverr has a lot of gigs, so try to stand out by knowing what people will search. And this is one of the things that actually identify Fiverr. On Upwork, you're selling your words to clients. You're looking at what clients want and you're pushing to tell them how you can do it better, how you can perfect it. But on Fiverr, you're selling your services, you're putting it out there, and you have to know what people really want. Because if you're creating minimalist logos and there is no market for this, you're not going to work out on Fiverr. So you really need to know the trends of technology. So one of my best performing gigs, as you saw, is I'll create a white paper for your ICO, which is initial coin offering. It's something related to crypto. So I know that crypto in general, I've been seeing a lot of clients that are coming from this area, and it's booming at that year, at that time. So I said, you know what, I'll create a gig accordingly. And that's what you should do. You should always use the trends and technological things that's going on to create the perfect gig. Because if you have one successful gig, then a lot of people are going to look for you and they're going to talk to you and they're going to buy your gig. So then after you do that, the rest is quite simple. You just have to put images. Yeah, just have to put, but let's just go through it. I'll create a logo for your company. Of course, never say that. I'm just saying it just to go on to the next step. The second step would be putting your basic, standard, and premium packages. Try to price them in a way, like think of McDonald's. They always put the large meal and the medium meal very close in pricing, so that when you think, okay, I'm gonna buy the medium meal, and you find it for $5, when you look at the large meal, it's only $6. So it's only $1 difference. I'll just get the large meal, you know? So try to think of this sales mentality and do that again with Fiverr. So do the pricing, the standards and premium very close to each other, so that people go, oh, you know what, I'll go for the premium. And the basic should be something that demonstrates what you can do, but it doesn't have to be something that is going to consume a lot of time of you. And don't make it something super generic, like I will create your strategy. I mean, it really depends on your line of work, but if it's I will talk to you, something like, come on, you're not going to talk to me for a basic package. That's not really something you should do. So put something minimal here and just say this doesn't include design, for example, or this doesn't include storyboarding, whatever your work is. Just add that this doesn't include that and put it in the standard and make the premium something else that people would want. You have to think about this very well, because this is one of the things that are gonna be determining your revenue. So that's quite important. Delivery time, extra fast delivery, say those things. These are all very simple. There is subscription, as you can see. It never worked with me because my business model doesn't require subscriptions. People want documents and they want them right now. They don't want them for a very long time. But if you're a blogger, for example, if they subscribe for a 3 months blog, that's not a bad idea, so that you would release a blog every month or every week or every day, whatever you want. So subscriptions in this case make sense, but in a lot of cases they don't. And if you save and continue, you're just gonna add images, and after that you're just gonna put your video if you have any video, and that's it. Let's just look at it quickly. Now, before I leave this, one of the most important thing also here is revisions. You need to keep this in consideration, because when clients know that these revisions are the maximum they could do, clients automatically stop asking for things. But keep in consideration, if you really want a good feedback on the long term, always offer an extra revision in your mind. So if you're thinking, I can do 3 revisions, then put 2 on Fiverr, so that when people say, okay, this is my 2nd revision, you know what, I'll do a 3rd revision for you, that's okay, without any costs. If it's a quick revision. So that, people will go like, oh yeah, and they made an extra revision for me. That's why I really like this freelancer, This is going the 120%, which you should be doing. But if you think that this would make any difference when it comes to problems with clients, like, hey, I did 2 revisions and that's it, we're done, and please release a contract and we're done. According to Fiverr, which is the sad reality of the situation, if a client really doesn't like the work and they don't accept paying this, and they just say this is a very bad quality and I don't accept it, Fiverr is going to intervene. They're going to tell the client, hi, can you please maybe pay a little bit of the contract or reach a middle ground? But if you and the client, or mainly the client, if the client refuses to reach a middle ground, then they will be getting their money back. That's how Fiverr works. Fiverr works in a way that it always favors the client. Upwork and Fiverr, always, all those freelancing websites favor the clients, entirely favor the clients. So even if you work for this hard, they could ask for a refund if the money is still there. So here's my advice to you. Provide milestones. For example, milestone, and you could do that in some of the business categories, but provide milestones. Like if you have a document, for example, say, for example, I will begin by structuring it. And for this, here's milestone number 1, which is $200, and it's structuring it. Then milestone number 2, which is design, which is another $200, for example. And once you're done with milestone 1, you let the client pay for it. The client can't ask for this money back after a certain amount of time because it's already been paid and they already agreed on it. And they tend to do that. So don't get into a situation where the money is with Fiverr entirely and the client doesn't like your work, or the client thinks that they might go away with it. A lot of our clients I saw that are trying to do that, they just try to use the fact that you already provided the work, and for that they would just take the work and go out. And always release something with a copyright watermark or something not editable, so that they wouldn't be able to take it. Take it and run. Just always give them that. At least that's the least you can do. So that if they're thinking that, no, I'll just take this and I wouldn't pay that much, then no, tell them that's not going to happen. Or if you want to do it, sure, do it, but the content's going to be watermarked, which is going to be useless. So keep that in mind. Moving on, describing your gig right as much as possible here. This is your area of sales again, and you're saying how good you know the market, how good you know the industry. Write names and statistics. This is really good. Whenever you write statistics and names and incidents that happens, always update it. All these things are seller points, and it's like stage 4 maybe, after the client looked at your picture, your one-liner, and your pricing, and they liked all of that. They're going to start reading about your gig. It might be a killer. It depends on what you write. So this could be the last element, like, yes, this person knows what they're talking about. Perfect. That's it. I am buying this gig. So this is quite important. So write something statistical that shows that you know the industry. Maybe a little bit poetic, if you could do a little bit of a poetic aspect of it. And remember that it's a sales text at the end of the day. Don't say, my name is, and this is how it goes. Skip that. It doesn't matter. They just want a logo. Give them what they want and tell them, I worked on the aesthetics of logos like big companies, etc. Or I love how the logo of this resembles, etc. Or color psychology, and anything that sounds really good, for them to know, okay, this person knows what they're talking about. Milestone, in this case, it works because it's a logo and you can create a template, exactly what you need, or use a template that's very nice. So then again, I always recommend you do that so that they wouldn't be asking if they don't like the work at the end of the day, which is not what you're looking for, because you're looking for good feedback eventually. If you do get into a conversation with a client and they want their money back, the least you can do is if they cancel the gig, I don't think they can. If they cancel the gig, they can't rate you really because it's canceled. But if they pay you, they can rate you. And in both cases, I think Fiverr has a background sort of statistical percent for you, similar to Upwork. So they would assess you if you have a lot of canceled gigs. And it is showing in your analytics as well. So the main thing in Fiverr is to get a good feedback, a 5-star rating, so that you would keep on working. This is what determines, because if there are 4 stages of selling on Fiverr, and this paragraph of briefly describing your gig was one of them, and the person liked this, if they look at your feedback and they don't find something that is impressive or that is medium impressive, and they find something bad, someone saying a bad review, etc., then that's not going to work out good by any means. You could sometimes try. I had once feedback of a client removed, but this client, it was a terrible story, and I wrote about it once before. The client was simply, he didn't like the quotation that I gave him, and he was able to give me a feedback only because we accepted. That was a bit my mistake, because I told him, all right, we're gonna work on a $5 gig so that I would be able to share my website with him, or email, sorry, because he wanted to share the non-disclosure agreement with me and he wanted my email. And according to Fiverr's customer support, I am not allowed to share an email with him unless he has a contract with me or he has an ongoing gig. And that's what happened. So I told him, all right, you know what? I trusted him. Let's just do this $5 gig. And for that, I will give you my email and give you my quotation. I didn't expect this to go bad. He just didn't like my quotation. He thought it was a little bit too expensive. And then he insulted me a few times. Thank God he did, because this is the only way I was able to get out this feedback. He wrote something about being shady, he also called me big insults via email, because afterwards, when he said a feedback, I replied to his feedback. I said, this person, and I said his name. And by then I just said that, he's just not liking my quotation, and that's why he's rating me, which is I didn't even do any work for him. It's just sharing email. And he didn't like that I shared his name. And for that, he sent an insult to me via email and sent to customer support. And customer support immediately removed my response to my feedback, which made me very mad. Then I went to customer support at Fiverr and told them, how the hell is this going on? So he can put a feedback and a rating on me and I can't. And then after a few hours or a day, maybe, they removed this feedback as well. So it was a good case for me. I learned from it. But at the end of the day, never accept small gigs like this for such a reason. Always remember that if you're starting an agreement or a contract with a client, they will be able to rate you. And that's really what matters at the end of the day on Fiverr. So moving on, frequently asked questions. I would recommend you add as many so that you would spare time in the conversations. And so we can continue. You can add questions. This also would spare you a little bit of time. It's your requirements, like tell me more about your website, tell me more about yourself, etc., which is really good, but I don't think it's necessary. It kind of is necessary now, at least to add a question like, tell me more about your company. And then they'll ask you to put the image. Now, really research what the perfect dimensions are. Even if Fiverr tells you a specific dimension, no, put the dimensions that are really recommended online. Put documents, put a video as much as you could. It has to showcase that you're talking. It doesn't have to be specific about the gig, because the people are really getting into an agreement with you before they're getting into agreement with a gig. So they want to see you. So this is what's important about this image, and then that's it. And then you publish it, and then Fiverr accepts it in a few days or whatever time it takes. And so this is how the gig is. And from there, the process is quite simple. You already did your gig, and after that, you just have to wait for people to talk to you. There are some things called Fiverr buyer requests, which are people asking, sort of like Upwork. People are asking, hey, I want a logo and this is the budget. It never worked out for me because it wasn't that marketed quite well. People know Fiverr by the fact that it's just, I go and buy the service immediately. I don't have to write things about it, you know? And one last thing is the response time. Now, my response time, as you can see, is 1 hour, which is okay. 1 hour, which is okay. If it's less, then that's better. The least you could do, that's better, because they want a fast response rate means you can answer quickly. And once you answer quickly, that means they could get it done quickly, because they're usually rushed about this thing. So always keep in consideration that. And how you do that is you always keep the Fiverr mobile application with you on your phone. And whenever a client sends you a message, answer immediately. You don't have to specify the details, just answer, say, hey, yeah, I checked this thing and let me get back to you in the morning, or when I get back to the office in the morning. That's it. You responded in 0 amount of time, and you just said, I'll get back to you. But the algorithm already knew that you already responded. So keep that in mind. And this is everything here. So the more you grow on Fiverr, the better it gets, and you can achieve very high success, and it could be one of your best side hustles that could be there. It just requires patience and understanding what people really want to buy. And for that, I also have a small tip for you. Google Trends. Google Trends is a website that shows you what's going on in the world and what people are searching for. So for instance, if you're thinking of creating a logo for a blockchain company, again, I like this example. So I look for blockchain logo, and I look at the search intent in the past 12 months. Some months almost people are not searching for this, in the US at least, and we can look at worldwide. It's a little bit more. From this, you could conclude whether there is intent in your logo or in your gig or not. And this is such a strong, powerful tool that a lot of people don't use. And what you could do is you could look for it as reassurance that this is the term that you're looking for, that there's a strong search. People are searching for this. So being on Fiverr with this gig is perfect. But also remember not to be very generic. So logo design, for example, probably has a big search intent or a big search. People are searching for it, but it's such a generic word that it's going to be hard for you to compete in this area. So choose your niche and accordingly use Google Trends in your advantage. And you can immediately just explore what people are searching on real time or in year, for example, see what happened last year globally and what people were searching, on the hopes of, for example, if you look at business or a category that you would be interested in, you would find something that could be helpful for you to create your gig. You would get like, yeah, a lot of people are searching for this and they searched for it in the previous year, and this is a growing market, so this is what I will be focusing on. And if you do that, I think you have everything you need. And this is very good for you to start with your Fiverr experience. So for any questions, please shoot it out in the comments down in this blog section. And this is all the technical information you really need to know about Fiverr.